Hi, everybody out there in Facebook world and to those able to join me in Zoom today. I am so excited to bring you this series. It's going to be on getting kids to listen. This week, I'm going to start today with toddlers, but I'm also going to keep posting videos into this group, the Challenging Behavior group on Facebook and up on YouTube. There's at least 5 Naptime Nuggets I've done with different elements of getting toddlers to listen. This one, we're going to look at it from a certain perspective I'm super excited about, but there's also other techniques that you can use I've done before. So I'm going to pull those all together for you. So if you're a member on my website, if you've subscribed to my website, then you will also get a notification that has all these listed out. So you don't have to be on Facebook in order to get these resources. Welcome to Naptime Nuggets number 74, getting toddlers to listen. I love this topic because it is not easy. They seem to be wired to keep doing what we don't want them to do. And then they have difficulty listening to what we do want them to do. So it's a great topic. So I'm really excited to bring you a perspective to look at this and then apply it to a couple situations. So this is directly from my Taming Those Terrific Toddlers series. 100% of people recommend it. We have an amazing time. The series is starting again next week, I believe on Monday with toddlers. Why do they do that? This one actually comes from the second one. You can sign up for one or all of them. It's called Setting Effective Limits and Getting Toddlers to Follow Them. We spent a whole 2 hours on it, all with the goal of compiling strategies to assist toddlers in following simple rules, routines, and directions. It seems like it should be simple, but yet it gets so complicated, doesn't it? So the main points are to reduce stress and increase joy while caring for toddlers. It's essential to set limits that toddlers can follow. They have a lot of difficulty understanding limits because everything in their body says, do it. So we need to really be intentional about getting those messages across so that they understand us and are able to listen and follow our direction. Second, toddlers have a lot of learning to do. The more specific, clear, kind, and helpful we can be, the quicker toddlers will learn. And third, when toddlers learn the skills, they behave better. They're just little learners trying to figure out this complicated world. When they learn the cultures, the cultural expectations and the rules and all these different settings they find themselves in, they actually start to behave better. So they're going to need a lot of help. And there are easy, fun, effective ways to get toddlers to follow your limits. No is not one of them. So I will not be talking about saying the word no today because toddlers, they don't understand the word no. They're programmed to do. I have an entire video on that I will be sharing with you, but today we're going past that one. What doesn't work? Yelling, scolding, punishing. Toddlers have no clue. They're just learning about the world, discovering cause and effect. So if they do something and they get a lot of yelling or a big reaction from an adult, they just want to do it again. To them, it's very interesting because they're scientists, they're figuring out the world. So yelling and being negative and punishing really doesn't help with toddlers. So what does help? The biggest way to look at getting toddlers to do what you want them to do is to be clear. This is because they are English language learners. They do not understand everything that we say. And we give conflicting messages with our verbals and nonverbals that they just don't understand. So I remember dropping my toddler off at childcare and she's crying and playing on my leg and I feel so bad. And I'm like, honey, it's okay. You're going to be okay. What am I actually saying? She could die, right? So what I need to do is say it with my words, but also show with my body. My nonverbals need to match my verbals. So I say, honey, you're going to do great. I know you love your mom so much, but you've got this. I believe in you. And turn around and walk away confidently. That's going to show my toddler what I'm actually saying with my words is true. They're going to read my nonverbal, so it's important to be clear. So sending very clear messages about what you're saying is going to be really important to help them understand the rule. Well, they don't understand everything you're saying. So it really helps to do the following 5 things. Number 1, make sure you get their attention before speaking. If you're over here trying to get snack ready and you say, honey, I need you to clean up now, they're not going to hear a word you're saying. They get so excited about doing what they're doing figuring out the world, that they can't hear you unless they can really see you. It's kind of like if you weren't able to hear and somebody was talking behind you, you literally wouldn't hear what they were saying. Toddlers are the same because they're so into their own world. So first, get down at their level, make sure that they can see you, that they can hear you, okay? Second, use gestures. Gestures are going to help you be able to get your message across. So imagine if you're in another country and you're trying to get to the airport, but you don't speak the language. You might say, can you please call me a taxi to go to the airport? Right? You're going to try and use nonverbals. You do the same thing with toddlers when they're not listening. You try and show them what it is that you're saying. So I'm going to tell you a story that puts all these in action in just a moment. Eliminate distraction. So I'm in an early childhood classroom. I have an early childhood teacher who's amazing. And she has the rule, the paintbrush stays in the bin. She knows she can get the toddlers to follow her directions, but I'm kind of a little suspicious actually. Paintbrush in the bin, it's a toddler. Who knows what havoc they're going to wreak with that little paintbrush, right? So the little girl grabs the paintbrush and starts walking across the room. And Julie gets down at her level and says, oh, paintbrush goes in the bin. The little girl looks at that paintbrush in her hand and keeps walking. I'm like, haha, I knew it. She wasn't going to listen. Nope, Julie says, oh, the paintbrush goes in the bin. Oh, when she tries to go again, the paintbrush goes in the bin. All of a sudden, Julia says, oh, I'm distracting you with my book, aren't I? Sets the book down, comes back eye to eye. The paintbrush goes in the bin. This little toddler goes, you could see her literally get it. She walks over to the bin and puts the paintbrush back in it. She didn't go and do that again the rest of the class. Can you believe that? So she just really gave her the benefit of the doubt, got down at her level and told her very simply, paintbrush goes in the bin while she was using gestures. And then the toddler was able to get it. So one thing that she did is she slowed her words down. You don't have to do this in regular life, but if you're trying to get them to stop something, you want them to get the message, you're going to put space between what you say. So paintbrush goes in bin, right? Gonna keep it very simple. Normally you can use very complex language. They'll start to get it, but if you really want them to understand your message, slow it down. And then give the toddler time to get it. So when you say something to a toddler, they need time for their brain to decode the words that you're saying and get a picture in their mind of what you're even telling them. They don't understand all the words that you're saying. It's like when I go to Mexico or somewhere, I know some Spanish, but I cannot pick out the whole sentence, the whole larger meaning. I can just pick out a couple words. So with toddlers, you want to say it slow, get down at their level, eliminate distraction, and then literally give them 30 to 45 seconds to understand what it is that you said, to decode it and get that picture in their mind. So the last part of this puzzle is to be really clear. Is it an instruction that you're giving them? Is it something that they need to do? Or is it a choice? So here I am, there's a little child in our classroom. She has a little toy and she doesn't want to give the toy up. And I come over and I say, do you want to leave the toy? She keeps holding the toy. And I say, do you want to leave the toy here at class? She keeps holding the toy. Is that an instruction or a choice? Do you want to leave the toy here? So Julia, my wonderful early childhood teacher, says, Raylene, if you ask it as a question, they can say no. Okay, then it started to click. See, so we can send confusing messages to toddlers that really help make it confusing for them. So keep it simple. Is an instruction, is a choice. So instead of, do you want to come to the snack table? Now I say, walk your feet to the snack. So you're just being as clear as you possibly can. So if I want them to wash their hands, I say, first wash hands, then eat snack. First wash hands, then eat snack. And I take a deep breath and I watch. Are they getting my message? Are they understanding what it is that I'm saying? Now, there's times that you do all that and you'll get a or something. And you know, okay, now maybe I have to move to the guidance strategies. And in the toddler series, that's the final class where we get into 8 specific toddler guidance strategies. But if you want them to listen to what you're saying, first, you have to make sure they understand your message. So here's this mom. This is the last story that pulls it all together. Are you ready? She's in my class and she's heard all this, right? So she goes back to try it. And her rule is the sippy cup stays in the kitchen. So her little toddler grabs the sippy cup, starts walking, and she gets down at her level, eye to eye, and says, oh, the sippy cup goes in the kitchen. The toddler looks at her, goes to keep walking. Happens almost every time. They need to know you mean it. They're not understanding. Oh, sippy cup goes in the kitchen. The sippy cup goes in the kitchen. She said it 7, 8 times. And she felt really silly at this point, but she had me in the back of her mind going, you have to out persist, you have to outlast, and you have to keep showing and saying, giving them time to get it until they listen to you. So she said it again. She said about the 8th time, she said, sippy cup, kitchen. The little girl looks at her. Light bulb goes on, walks into the kitchen and sets that sippy cup down. Isn't that amazing? So she was able to out persist, stick with the toddler, show her very simply what it is she wanted the toddler to do. And then the toddler listened to the message. So it's an absolute wonderful way to get toddlers to listen to what you want to do, but we need to keep it simple, make it really, really clear, and be super encouraging. One thing you might have noticed there too, I was keeping it positive, right? This mother didn't say, the sippy cup goes in the kitchen, sippy cup, kitchen. She's getting upset. Now imagine you're in a foreign country. You're trying to understand what somebody's saying and they're getting mad while they're saying it. You might get worried or nervous. You might shut down. And that's not what we want the toddler to do. We want to keep them on our side, right? We want to keep them open and calm and listening. So that's why we repeat calmly, stick with them until they get our message. Stand back and ask yourself, do they understand? Do I have their attention? Or maybe are they distracted? Did my nonverbal and verbal messages match? Did I say it positive? Did I show and model the behavior several times? Did I keep the language simple? Did I give them a moment to process what I said? Was the direction framed positively as a to-do? And was it clear? Was it a direction, not a choice? Thank you so much for joining me today. These are your toddler tips, one whole set of them to get toddlers to do what you want them to do and have them listen. And there's a lot here. So step back, walk through your life with a toddler. Next time you're trying to get them to do something, rewind. If they're not listening, rewind and ask yourself, did they understand me? Did they get the message? Could I say it again? Could I slow it down? Could I model it, etc.? And along the whole way, be understanding. Be understanding. It's hard to be in this world where they have all these changing rules depending on what environment that they're in. They have so many things to take in and learn about. So try and be understanding. It's hard to be a toddler. And also give yourself a pat on the back and a big hug. The reality is toddlers are learning. We're learning to figure out how to get them to understand our messages. It's frustrating for all of us sometimes. So give yourself a big hug and a lot of understanding as you try to get toddlers to follow your simple directions. Thank you so much for joining me. It takes a big heart to help shape little minds. You are literally helping that toddler both learn the language, but also the expectations and be able to follow the rules. You are literally building their self-regulation skills when you set limits and stick to them no matter what. So thank you for all you do. It's not an easy job, but you make a big difference. Be looking on the Challenging Behavior Support Network on Facebook. And if you're on my website, if you subscribed, I'm going to be sending out a link that has 5 different videos for getting toddlers to follow your directions when it comes to mealtime, when it comes to a strategy when they won't listen, how you can encourage them specifically to still listen. They got your message, they're not following you. All those videos are going to be coming up. So keep your eyes open in the online Challenging Behavior Support Group. And I can't wait to meet with you next week. We're going to move up to the preschool age. What to do when preschoolers won't listen? I have a great strategy. You're not going to believe it. You probably haven't heard it before. And we're going to apply it to some specific scenarios that you've run into. So join me next week. Thanks so much, you guys. Have a wonderful rest of your day. Over and out.